I think it can be bigger than it is now because of some of the things we're working on and other projects we've got behind the scenes. And I don't think any of us ever doubted it could be.
I don't know, I suppose we'd all just had an interest in cars, classic cars, customising cars. Me and Elliot both worked at a place called Halfords in the UK, which is probably a Pep Boys equivalent out here.
It's a chav stall.
Yeah, it is. So you do a lot of car customising with cheap gear knobs and, what else? Cheap audio systems.
Yeah, they were premium, Alpine.
Tax discs.
£90. When I moved out here, nearly 7 years ago, 6-7 years ago, we had a couple of Defenders that kind of we had in the family. I bought them with me. I had no idea what to do with them. Put them on eBay, and then people kept contacting me after that, asking, if I could source them and do this to it, do that to it. And then things quickly snowballed. And it was around that time I actually first met Scott.
You brought one to my house.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
You brought a Defender to my house, and that was where our kind of common interest in cars was discussed, because he pulled up in a Defender, and it was kind of customised, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all painted.
It wasn't fully loaded, but it was kind of customised, and
murdered out.
Yeah, it was very stealth, wasn't it? It was, and then we had a conversation about, how can you take that product and create a need in an American market for it, and how would you? And that's where the custom side come in.
Anyway, it was March 2013 that I first got the Florida dealer license and moved into a little unit in Kissimmee. It was about 900 square foot, and I was just sat in the front.
Why did you get a unit?
Because you have to for a dealer. You have to have the space.
But literally, was it you just sat in the front?
It was like smaller than this, and it was me sat in the front and 2 trucks in the back. And then I was shitting myself a bit because Scott had told me to quit my job, so I did. And then I was sat in the front of a little office with no idea what to do.
Where were you?
Yeah, I was at university.
Had you seen The Office?
Yeah, I came over on holiday and saw it.
The one over there?
Yeah.
At the airport?
192. And then I dropped out of uni the next day. I was driving to uni one day. I was driving up the M1 and it was solid traffic. I just sat there and said, fuck this. Turned around, went home, emailed my lecturer, said I'm not writing.
You didn't even make it in?
No, I came
But
home.
Had he offered you a job first?
We talked about it. It wasn't offered. We just
It's never been offered.
No.
He just turned up. I think for me, probably straight away, as soon as them first 2 trucks left, there was requests coming in. And then one of our very first custom clients actually flew in to see me, a lady called Sloan, and we went through all the build and everything, and she handed me a check for 50% of the balance, and it was about $60,000-$70,000, and it was like more money than I'd ever seen in my life.
We thought there'd be genuine interest in what we were doing via the press picking it up, and when we did some of our first press releases, the interest in the press was phenomenal, because I think the product was different and it was unique, and I think the fact that they were so interested in what we're doing kind of showed us that it could be what it is today because of the interest that they attracted via press and the readership of that press. So there was kind of like a light went on when we saw the press engagement with what we did and how interested they were in what we were doing.
Well, the big thing was that fusion of the classic British and the American, wasn't it?
Yeah, you put 2 icons together like the LS3 and the Defender, and I think that's where we saw that there was a bit of marketing gold there, and that was when I kind of said, well, actually, this could be quite a big deal.
So yeah, in the early days, there was me, Elliot and Brandon. We referred to that as the glory days.
Jordan was part of the glory days.
Jordan kept knocking. It was like we're all sat here and Jordan would be knocking on the window there asking for a job.
Really? Where was he then?
We didn't take him on to start with.
No, but where was he working?
We kept refusing.
That
Skyline
Japanese
place.
car place that got shut down.
Yeah, because of him. So yeah, there was Brandon and then Jordan quickly after that.
We went.
Definitely.
We were in the
Good question.
smaller unit, and Tom came and said, "There's a unit available just next door,"
Well, that wasn't even our smallest unit.
No, it
that was a
wasn't.
big unit at the time.
and it was probably 3 times the size of our biggest unit. And Tom and I stood in the middle of it, and we said, "You know, what could we do with this space?" And do you remember we got tape?
Yeah.
And we got some tape, and we masked out all the bays, and we worked out the length of a D110 and a D90, and we figured out how many we could get through by physically putting tape on the floor. And then we scribbled out, you know, how many we could build a year and what it would need to build them, and we did a very crude business plan using some blue tape and a big concrete floor space. And I think that's when we thought if we could get the right people and the parts things, you know, resolved, we could potentially build. I think we looked at like 28 a year then. So we said I think 28 we could build a year, and we now build 36 full builds and 9 upgrade builds.
And that Christmas we moved, me and Elliot went home and you did everything on your own.
Yes, they
remember?
did. They went on vacation, and I moved the entire production facility.
Physically. With his own
Physically.
hands.
Yes, while they ate turkey.
Not just standing there screaming at other people.
What was your memory, Elliot?
When we did Festivals of Speed in St. Pete's, and Glenn went to sleep in his jeans with an ice cream in his pocket, and then did the whole show with a big brown stain down his trousers for the whole show. That was my favourite, definitely.
Oh, Elliot, what have you learned along the way?
That life's depressing. Nothing goes right. Everything's expensive. Cost of goods is important. Supposedly. Land Rovers are tricky cars. I don't know.
I've learned that you shouldn't work with family.
Yeah. Yeah, or Scottish people.
I remember saying that. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I can feel it, and I generally did think it could be you, know, and I think we were only. I think it can be bigger than it is now because of some of the things we're working on and other projects we've got behind the scenes, and I don't think any of us ever doubted it could be. But I don't think we'd have done the move. You know, we never really hesitated, and we did the move to the bigger facility, and we wouldn't have done that if we didn't think we could build the 28 we mapped out on the floor that day. Yeah, so you know, we kind of mapped out a production facility without the sales to support it at that point, didn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, everything had to be accelerated.
Yeah.
We knew the minute we moved there, we'd have to increase our awareness, we'd have to increase our investment in tooling, we'd have to increase the number of people. So we made that leap of faith without anything apart from a belief that it was going to be big. So I think we all kind of knew it, really.